And welcome to the Crazy Town Elementary School Presidential Debate. I'm Sophia from Miss Brady's class and will serve as moderator. Now please join me in welcoming the candidates for your student president, Eddie Grantwood and Caitlin Parker. Welcome to you both. Now let's get right to it with questions from your fellow students. The first question comes from Brian Kuda, who's afraid of the dark, but still feels that zombies are awesome.
Hi, I'm Brian. If you could describe your candidacy in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Ah, how fondly I remember elementary school. Just kidding, I was a child prodigy and skipped grades 2 through 6. But what I've been told from the slower kids is that eating boogers and holding hands while crossing the street were real highlights. And the politics of it all, just like the presidential student body debate, some real shady-ish went down. Just like it does in The Future is in Your Tiny Hands by Jonathan Rand.
Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Crazy Town Elementary Election Committee, the entire student body, and my opponent for what I'm confident will be an illuminating, constructive conversation. And if I could describe my candidacy in 3 words, I would do so as follows. For too long, our student body has been divided into factions of the haves and the have-nots, and under my leadership, all students will have an equal opportunity to achieve their dreams.
Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Crazy Town Elementary Election Commission, the entire student body, and my opponent for what I'm confident will be an illuminating, constructive conversation. I would also like to thank the Tooth Fairy, someone my opponent did not thank, presumably because she isn't a true believer. Finally, unlike my opponent, I will comply with Brian's 3-word limit and describe my candidacy as follows. My goals include... the next question comes from Dawn Francisco, who this one time saw a PG-13 movie while her parents weren't home. I love tater tots. What is your stance on tater tots? To reiterate, I love tater tots.
That's the question, Dawn. As you can see, over the last decades, school lunches have seen a disturbing decline in overall quantity of tots, which is why I pledge to reinstate the legislation known as a lot of tots, which requires by law that all lunch trays adhere to my perpetually plentiful piles of petite potato perfection plan. Ladies and gentlemen, these are difficult times, but make no mistake, I will win the war on tatorism.
Look, I'm not going to beat around the potato bush. Potato tots poll at a 99.4%. That's a higher approval rating than ice cream trucks. In other words, if you hate tots, you hate America. And I don't hate America, unless it's opposite day. Wait, is it opposite day? It's not opposite day. Then I love America. My point is, the more tots, the better, of course. Because do we really believe we need more cafeteria bureaucracy? No. It's time we leave behind the days of cardboard-grade pizza, half-thawed green beans, and I hesitate to use the M-word, milk. Instead, we the people can decide what's for lunch, be it tater tots, non-lunchables, or most importantly, fruit by the foot. The next question comes from Brendan Slattery, whose career goals include Batman. Girls are gross. Thank you, Brendan. Gender issues are a critical part of this election, and as a fellow boy, I thank you not only for bringing it up, but also for not being a stupid girl. Girls are indeed gross, and that will always be the case, despite what my big brother Jim said. Which is why on day 1 of my administration, I will repeal the student council's short-sighted verdict in Awesome Girls versus Silly Boys.
Yet again, my opponent is on the wrong side of history. Awesome Girls versus Silly Boys is our generation's most influential ruling, which is why I will throw my full support behind it and ensure the CDC eradicates every strain of cootie and call for punitive damages pursuant to the yanking of pigtails.
That's outrageous. You take that away, what next? Are water balloons? You can have my water balloons when you pry them through cold, wet hands. We'll need to move on to the next question. Sophia, before we do, I'd like to point out that my opponent is a girl, and my transitive property of gender is totally gross.
And I'd like to point out that my opponent is a boy, and in a few years he'll do a total 180 and try to impress me with cheap cologne while I reject him for someone with a driver's license and still!
Well, we'll need to move on. The next question comes from Larry Hartley, whose favorite candy is all candy. Hi. This is a difficult time with difficult challenges. With that in mind, how many jumbo marshmallows can you fit in your mouth?
5.
The next question comes from Ryan Stevenson, whose Halloween costume was a robot, and it looked totally real. How would you describe your school spirit? The reason I ask is because I've got spirit. Yes, I do. I've got spirit. How about you? That's a fine question, Ryan. If anyone has Crazy Town Elementary pride, it's me. And as you know, our mascot is the northern elephant seal, which I always proudly display here on my lapel. Ryan, as I look around, I see so much northern elephant seal pride. But I'm now noticing that my opponent does not wear a lapel pin. How fascinating. I suppose school pride isn't for everyone.
Isn't it weird that my opponent must overcompensate with outward appearance because of their lack of school spirit? I don't flaunt my school pride on the outside because it's what's inside that counts. And by inside, I'm of course referring to this Navy SEAL handkerchief. As you can see, it's noticeably larger than my opponent's lapel pin.
Look, we all know school pride isn't about size, but about quantity. Not only do I wear this pin, but another 10 right here.
I have so much school pride, Northern Elephant Seals is my middle name. I mean that literally, as my name has legally been changed to Caitlin Northern Elephant Seals Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, my ringtone.
My opponent just played the call of the Western Elephant Seal. The Northern Elephant Seal actually sounds like
Well, if my opponent had true school pride, she would bark with the traditional crane neck and sand flipping motion like so.
While I can appreciate my opponent's valiant effort at an impression, it will pale in comparison to the real thing. Stand, bring on the seal! Stand. Folks, the live northern elephant seal I captured from the wild this morning is now unable to join us, but he will always be with me right here, which is, if you recall, where I keep this handkerchief. Seal pride!
Let the record show my opponent murdered an elephant seal, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the end of today's debate, which means it's time for closing statements. Caitlin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sophia. My fellow northern elephant seals, when you sit down and really think, what do you want in a president? Do you want a me-first megalomaniac? Do you want a candidate whose entire get-out-the-vote campaign revolved not only around cupcake bribes, but triple chocolate cupcake bribes? And do you want the kind of person who drinks from the water fountain in that weird way where they stick their whole mouth on the fountain? Or do you want a leader who leads? Using leadership.
And your closing statement? I'll put a snow cone machine in every class. And with that, we've reached the end of today's debate. On behalf of the entire student body, I'd like to thank both candidates for a highly informative conversation. May the best candidate win. That being said, since all past elections were decided by who fit more marshmallows in their mouth, congratulations to our new presumptive president, Eddie Grantwood.